Hi, I'm Faye Jones. Thanks for joining me today. I'm guessing since you're here that you are a little curious about meditation. Now, you may or may not have a current practice, but if you're a newbie, I know one of the things that I hear over and over again, one of the most common concerns that comes up is people say, oh gosh, I just can't sit for that long. Well, first of all, when you're first starting out, my recommendation is that you sit for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. If you can't do any more than that, that's a wonderful place to start. Even still, sitting for 5 minutes at a time can be excruciating if you don't know how to do it. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to really break down the mechanics of it, what it takes to sit in a way that you're comfortable, because ultimately the most important thing is that you're comfortable. That's going to make it so that you keep coming back every day. That's what we want to see. So, one of the things that I usually do with my students who are learning meditation is I make sure that we open the hips with some yoga moves. There are certain poses in yoga that are very helpful for opening the hips, and we're not going to get into that in this video, but I do have other videos coming that will go more deeply into that. But there are certain things, like if you go into cobbler pose, you're going to open up the hips here. So to create a little bit more flexibility through here is going to be one thing that's going to help you be more comfortable. Now, if you are not as flexible in your hips as I am, what you may see is that your crossed legs looks like this. Now, when you're sitting, in order to be most comfortable, you want your pelvis to be as high or maybe even a little bit higher than your legs. So if you need to, you got to raise the floor. Now, a very common thing that people use for meditation is a buckwheat-filled meditation pillow. I'm actually using something a little bit higher today because I like to be a little higher up. This is a yoga bolster, and like I said, it does take you up a little higher off the floor, so it creates a little more space here through the hips. Now, when you're crossing your legs, you want to cross at the shins rather than the ankles. It's going to kind of pull that in a little tighter for you, make it a little easier, less stretch through here. And if once you get into this position you feel like you're really holding tight here, you can take some pillows and just lay them between your foot and your leg. Now, you see that I'm just taking pillows off my couch here. If you don't have a meditation cushion or you don't have a yoga bolster, it's fine to use what you have. Take the pillows off your bed, take a pillow off the couch, take some pillows, fold them in half to raise you up even a little higher. And if your flexibility is such that even that is uncomfortable, go ahead and sit in a chair. It's fine to sit in a chair. You're still looking to just create that geometry of the hips being a little higher than the legs. So once you've got your comfort with your legs and your hips, and you've raised your pelvis up off the floor a bit, you want to become aware of your sitting bones. We're going to kind of work our way up the body here. So the sitting bone is that hard bone that you sit on. It's kind of obvious here, but we want to bring the attention to the sitting bone and have all of the weight kind of sit on that space. So if you want to play with that, you can kind of find where your belly button is and push the belly button out in front and tuck the belly button in towards the spine, and you'll probably notice that you're rolling around on that sitting bone. Now, you want to find that place right in the center where you're straight up on top of it, because that's the goal here. We're trying to lay things one right on top of the other, okay, all the way up the body. So finding that neutral place on the sitting bones is step number one. So once you've got that space and you drop your knees into the pillows, then you're going to lift through the sides of the body. Lift up through the rib cage and float the heart up. And you may notice that that creates a little more space here. If you're crunched in like this, things are tight, you're really compressed through here. This opens you here and opens up this wonderful muscle called the diaphragm that's going to assist you in your breathing, which is really great for meditation. So we've got nice, balanced, solid, grounded sitting bones, a lift up through the side of the body, a lift through the heart. Now you're going to imagine that your collarbone rotates back, and as that happens, you may notice that the shoulders come back and the shoulder blades slide down, and then you can lay your hands out to your knees. The final thing that you want to do is make sure that your head continues that one on top of the other sequence. So everything is nice and even and straight and one on top of the other. We want to make sure that the head isn't dropping too far forward or the chin up too high and the neck is compressing in the back. And the easiest way to do this is just to tuck the chin in just a little bit towards your throat. So tucking that in is going to create that line all the way through. So why do we sit? Well, the most obvious answer is if we were lying down, we'd be more likely to fall asleep. And I know I am not a person who can meditate at all lying down. I go straight to sleep, and while that is very relaxing, it is definitely not meditation. So sitting up kind of brings us into a very present place, brings us into a place where we're really aware of what's going on in our bodies, and gives us this nice open space here to focus on the breath. So with one hand on the diaphragm, which is just at the base of the ribs, take a few breaths in. Notice the breath moving in and out. And now that we're in this wonderful, calm, centered, neutral space where there's no holding or tightness, let's just close our eyes and take a few moments and observe that breath. Feel the breath moving in and out through the nose. Notice if it's cooler on one part of the breath. Become aware of the parts of your body that are moving as the breath moves in and out. Maybe it's your chest, your rib cage. You might actually feel your diaphragm pushing out flat and then relaxing up into its curved shape. You may feel the belly rising and falling. And as you take one last breath in, blow it out with a little sound. Gently wiggle your fingers, bringing your attention to each finger. Open your eyes. So what you've just done now is about 2 minutes of a sitting meditation, which is one of the simplest forms of meditation, and really a great place for you to start. The other thing that is important about what you've just done is you've really grounded into your body that physical feeling, that physicality of sitting in a good posture that's going to make it easy for you to meditate. So when you are meditating, as the thoughts come in and you identify them as a thought, then you can return to the physical, and you can return to your body, and you can return to the little corrections that make that posture a comfortable posture for you. It's bringing awareness back into your body in a really meaningful way, and it's a great, easy way to start meditating. So have fun with it. Try your very best to do at least a little bit every day, and check back with me at my website, www.whenstressmakesyousick.com, for more videos in this series. Thanks for being with me today, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.